And just like that, we back with part 2. Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. We are now back with part 2. Let's play this thing. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
Neighbors told NBC4 when they moved into this high-rise apartment building, they expected peace and quiet. But this week...
Well, there's been a lot of police traffic in and out, and, in downtown Los Angeles where we're supposed to be safe.
LAPD says officers found Melissa Mooney dead inside of her apartment during a welfare check on Tuesday afternoon. The coroner's office has not released a cause of death, but police are calling it a homicide.
And it's sad to hear. Well, it makes me feel uneasy.
According to this webpage, Mooney was a licensed real estate agent with Beverly Hills-based company Nest Seekers. On top of that, her Instagram bio says she was a published model and an art dealer. Her older sister, Jordan Pauline, posting this message on social media, saying in part, "You're the best thing to happen to almost everyone's lives you touched. My heart is crushed. I keep waking up crying, thinking I'm in a bad dream."
I felt so sorry for her family. I bring pepper spray with me every day. I know probably it's not legal, but I just don't feel safe walking around here.
Central Bureau homicide detectives declined to speak about the case on camera today, but say they believe Mooney was killed inside of her apartment. Her family hosting a memorial on Sunday night, asking everyone to wear pink. Jordan ending her post with a vow. "We will get justice for you, my sister. I promise you won't be gone in vain."
Thanks for watching.
Now, there is a pattern we must observe. And a few weeks ago, a month ago, I believe, not even a month ago, but somewhere around that time, there was another young lady, another young black lady, and she's one of those Instagram models and actors, and they find her, she was killed. She was of course killed in the same way. And then a second one, and then this one is a third one. All of them are models, Instagram model. Now, again, beloved, I don't know what's going on, but there is something going on online where those young women are posing as actresses. They are posing as supermodels. They are posing as businesswomen. And they will invite the person to their house and they will do business with them. And it seems there's a lot going on. We don't know. But those folks are being taken out just like that. Now, this young lady, she's not one of those celebrities, popular celebrities. So it's not the Illuminati. So the Illuminati did not do this because she's not a celebrity. Of course, they only can kill, celebrities. Or this is not the elite doing this and stuff. Now, there is a fellow up there in up north. His name, the name is the Gogo Beach Killer or Gigolo Beach. I don't know that dude. He was a giant 6'5" dude going around and kill a bunch of prostitutes that he picked around and just murdered them. And now we see this pattern of those young ladies online being taken out. And I'm not accusing, no, I'm assuming anything, but there is a pattern. And people are like, well, Big Leaf, we got to protect our black women and stuff. Yeah. Suddenly now, people, they want to be part of us. A lot of folks are like, well, we want you to protect us. But she's living in an apartment alone, by herself, in one of those luxury apartments in downtown LA, which is, I'm not from LA, but I'm assuming it's pretty pricey. And then now those young women are being found dead. And they don't release the information. How did they get killed? Was it strangulation? Were they strangled? Were they shot? Stabbed? They just say they are died. They just died. Now, a lot of our people, well, not our people, a lot of people out there, especially in this day and age, they like to stunt and flaunt their wealth online. And you have a lot of people that do not like you, especially family members. They can sting your ass. They can sting you being rich and all that stuff. So they will go to your place and do stuff to you. They could harm you. So again, like we said to the people out there, there's a thinning of the herd. There is a removal of the chaff. There's a removal of the confusion in the midst of us. That is why now whatever happened, we have to say great glory and keep it moving. Because this is not the time for us to be emotional, get together and protest this thing. And then next thing you know, she was doing, on the download, doing dirty stuff, shameful things to get this money or doing this lifestyle. So this thing, they come with that too, man. Certain lifestyle you choose, they come with a price too, man. Hey, that's what that is. Let's keep on moving.
Mother and her 3 young children missing for about 2 weeks now, but her husband claims they're fine. 30-year-old Lauren Cook was last seen with her 3 children, ages 2, 5, and 7, at the family's home in Virginia at the end of August. Police say Cook last spoke with her mother around September 5th, with Cook telling her they were in New York visiting family. Remember, no one saw her. They were officially reported missing September 13th after Cook did not attend a rescheduled appearance in Franklin County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. The next day, investigators confirmed Cook and her children were in Illinois. But again, no one had seen them. Her husband says that he has talked to Lauren and that the children are doing well and that he wants everyone to respect their family's privacy right now. But the rest of Lauren's family says they cannot get in touch with her. Let's bring in News Nation law and justice contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer, who joins us live from CrimeCon in Orlando, Florida. Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us. I want to talk to you about CrimeCon, but first I want to talk about this case. So the husband here, Lauren's husband, says things are fine. Law enforcement, though, says Cook and her kids will remain on the missing registry because their names are on the missing registry. What do you think's going on here, Jennifer?
Well, I think what's going on is the husband is not being truthful and is not being completely candid. Her cell phone doesn't have usage. There are no bank records that are being used. In other words, she's not using her credit cards. She's not using her bank cards. That tells me a lot right there because people don't disappear and leave their husbands without using their monetary resources and without using their phones.
So Jennifer, it seems like it would be difficult, as you say, no cell phone usage, no credit cards. It seems like it would be difficult to do that, especially with 3 young children in tow. Again, we're talking about ages 7, 5, and then 2, but it is not out of the realm of possibility. Is it possible that maybe Lauren left her husband and doesn't want to be found?
I don't think it's possible in this case. Certainly they're going to be checking it out. But if you look at the fact that NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they have already issued that these individuals are missing. Why? Because they've conducted their own investigation, which has shown that they're not in school, that there's been no sign or trace of them. That tells me the facts are leaning toward they haven't been taken of their free will.
All right, and this all started, as we said at the top of this, Lauren missed that.
Well, anyway, man, we see there's a lot of this missing parents, kids, and husband. Respect my privacy. I don't want my wife to talk to you people. We are part of a cult, things like that. So we don't know what's going on, but hey, great glory, man. So whatever is going on, and let it happen. Keep on moving. This is in Thailand. Okay, this is in Thailand. All right, Bangkok, Thailand, and it's only getting worse all the time. But people they don't pay attention. People don't care. People things like that. We don't really care. But it's judgment worldwide. Okay, it's worldwide judgment, and we give the Holy One great praise, great glory. Let's keep on moving.
A big blast has leveled a home in North Jersey, and the cause remains under investigation tonight. First responders were able to pull out all 6 people inside. CBS 2's Lisa Rosner has the latest from West Milford.
Chopper 2 was over 53 Banker Road Friday night just after it exploded around 9 p.m. Debris and glass were scattered all across the yard and street. Saturday, investigators kept the area blocked off, but you could see from this photo shredded pieces of the home now in a pile in front of 4 vehicles. Google Maps shows the home that once stood at that address.
There's nothing left.
Dozens of emergency services from several towns responded to pull out 6 people. The West Milford Police Department says 5 victims were taken to area hospitals via medevac. A 6th refused medical attention. Neighbors say it's a miracle. The sound of the explosion and its impact were felt miles away.
The whole house shook like this. So it felt like an earthquake.
It sounded like a gas explosion.
Some neighbors believe it may have been related to a propane tank, but the state and local fire marshal are investigating. A dumpster was outside the home, suggesting there may have been construction. Neighbors tell us the home had been foreclosed for some time and was just purchased last month. They say the family that lives there had been doing repairs almost every night.
From what I saw, general construction, floors, walls, the house had taken on.
Yeah, so basically this thing happened all the time now. It's just a house just boom. And oh yeah, there was some gas, and there was one of the construction worker was a sumo wrestler, and it was there to squat over a bonfire and push really hard. So, you know, the whole thing propelled him into space. He's still there. We haven't landed yet. But we just assume that's what happened. So that we're gonna have to wait until this fat guy hit the ground. So we'll question him. What the hell happened? You know, that's what they keep telling people. Because this thing, it been happening for years, and no one wanna wait, hang on. There's something going on here. But anyway, you don't want to tell the truth. Let's keep on moving.
On water in the basement, it was a vacant house for a few years. So he was just putting the house back together.
Residents are relieved the explosion didn't impact neighboring homes as well.
The whole thing was so nerve-wracking. I just kept praying for the people. You're really only as safe as your neighbors. Whatever you do affects your neighbors. And I'm just so grateful no one else got hurt. Flying debris, so many things could have happened.
The conditions and identities of the people rescued have not been released. In West Milford, New Jersey, Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
All right, a lot of things going on. Let's keep on moving. All right, then. Let's keep on moving.
Officials say the $100 million aircraft went missing on Sunday. It's now being described as, quote, a mishap by officials. Yesterday, parts and debris from the jet were discovered in Williamsburg County. That's where we find ABC 15's Joel Vasquez tonight. He spoke with a resident who is living on that road who had a difficult time just even getting to his home. But first, this is the house where the pilot actually landed. This is actually near North Charleston, the area, on Sunday. Now, the pilot put the plane on autopilot before ejecting. Officials have not yet said why he ejected, describing again the incident as a mishap during routine training flight.
Now, after ejection, the plane then traveled about 60 miles before crashing in Williamsburg County. ABC News spoke with Steve Ganyard, a retired colonel in the Marine Corps, an ABC's news contributor. He says the plane continued to climb in altitude after the ejection and actually flew another 5 to 10 minutes before crashing.
So what we now know is that the airplane was on takeoff, and 1,000 feet off the departure end of the runway with the nose pointed up, the pilot ejected. With the nose pointed up, the aircraft continued to climb to some altitude we don't know, flying for 5 to 10 minutes before impacting the field. But because air traffic control has no idea, because the aircraft was stealthy and invisible, we have no idea whether the aircraft came close to other aircraft or how high it actually flew.
Now, we are also learning more about that investigation process.
Yeah, Ganyard says that when a crash like this happens, investigators begin looking into a number of things.
Military aviation has gotten exponentially safer over the years because there are actually two investigations. One is a legal investigation to see if there was legal liability. Totally separate from that is an investigation that looks to find root causes, where people essentially have immunity. They're allowed to talk to investigators. If somebody did something wrong, they're given immunity. So the investigation the military does for any mishap is actually very detailed and very good because it's trying to get at root causes.
This story has captured the attention of the entire country, really. Many residents telling us as well that they never thought their quiet community would be making national headlines.
ABC 15's Joel Vasquez has been speaking with people in the community, including one man who lives near where that fighter jet actually crashed. Joel.
Jen, Andrew, James Hicks tells me that he's actually one of the only people to live behind this blockaded area. Now,
beloved, we are not fooled. We are not dismayed. We are not. We are not fooled. We are not dismayed. We are not easily swayed. We know exactly what's going on here. Now, let's listen. Well, we already listened to the story. Let's make a quick analysis, shall we? This F-35, well, they call it F-35B, which is one of the most advanced fighter jets. It's so far advanced that the radar, any military radar or a regular airplane radar, the tower radar cannot detect it. Now, for some reason, the pilot that was piloting this airplane eject from it. And this isn't the first time we had a B-1, which is cost at least $1 billion to make crash the other day. They didn't make that much news, though. They kind of like buried it. I believe that was last year or a year or two ago when we were making such trouble. Now, you got this super advanced fighting jet, F-35B. The pilot ejected. The plane still flying for 30 more minutes and go safely crash somewhere else. Now, those folks want to tell you the plane was on autopilot. That's not what it was. You don't eject your seat and then the plane automatically go on autopilot. That's not what that is. And what is it? Why did it eject? What went wrong? Couldn't it just take it to the sea? And then the pilot say he has no idea where the plane was. When he called 911, and they're like, "What's going on?" He said, "I have no idea where the plane where the plane was, where the plane is." The same bull was told when a private jet, remember 3 months ago, a private jet leaves somewhere around North Carolina, Tennessee. It went to Tennessee for New York, and then the airplane, for unknown reason, reach the airport, turn around, and go back to the place that it was, and then lost contact, fuel went out, and the airplane crashed. For unknown reason. They keep telling you a bunch of nonsense like, well, this happened, well, we don't know, we have to investigate, legal investigation, liability, and stuff. Word salad. No one seems to know exactly what's going on. And you will have people out there, especially the camp brethren, will sit there with a straight face and telling you, well, we have to get prepared. They're going to fight the Mossad. That's why they got the Guardian. The Guardian going to come over there and use the airplane and shoot the Mossad. And I keep telling those guys, listen, there is no weapon on earth that can strike down the Mossad chariots. Well, in 1946, they shot down one of the chariots. What? Are you out of your freaking mind? That's like a caveman hitting the Concorde airplane with a rock. That's like a bunch of cavemen throwing rocks at the Concorde airplane. That's like a caveman hitting the space shuttle with a spear. While it's in orbit in space, they hit it with a spear. Are you out of your freaking mind? Do you really believe the so-called men or the Gentiles have any weapon that can go toe-to-toe with the angelic being? Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you off your racket? Well, you have to understand, Big Levi, they do this. They do. Now, listen, man. Give credits to where credit due. A lot of guys were in the military. F-35 is a very advanced airplane, man. Super advanced, super fast, can do a hell of a lot of things. And then it's super good. But the devices are not working anymore. You cannot win a fight against the Most High when you are in your curses, or when you, better yet, when you are out of your blessing, when you are not in your blessing. You can't win this fight, man. The blessing is done. How are you going to fight the Most High? You barely can fight whatever those guys over there in Afghanistan and Vietnam or whatever country you are trying to swag at. You barely can fight those folks. You barely can fight a two-third down the street. Next thing you know, the Guardian, Trump just give $10 billion to the Guardian so they can get ready for Jacob's trouble, so they can fight the chariots, the angelic being. Are you out of your freaking mind to just sit there and saying men have the ability to fight those angelic beings, those super beings that have super technology that are beyond anything you could possibly ever imagine? Those cavemen can actually hit a satellite with a rock. They have bow and arrow, and they are taking down the satellite that was orbited. They can take the Hubble telescope or the James, whatever that new telescope they have over there, by just shooting an arrow at it. Oh my goodness. Do you have any idea what you just said here? And you make it believable. And people are like, well, Big Levi, you have to understand, those cavemen, they're going to win. Because they got spears, they got rocks, plus they got a few saber tooth. Oh, those cavemen, they are going against Abraham's tank, throwing rocks at this tank, running towards this tank head on first and hit this thing with all their strength, with all their might, and hit their head in it. And then they break the tank in half because they are hard-headed cavemen. Get out of here, man. Got a bunch of troglodytes, a bunch of folks that have no idea what they are up against, and then they are shooting chariot down in 1946, Roswell and stuff like that. Get out of here, man. See, what you're calling chariots, those things are all over the place. They're just super far advanced. They are cloaking. We got brethren that mess with technologies that are so far beyond. It blew my mind. I'm like, what the hell is this? What does that thing can even do? What does it do? What can it do? I don't even understand this thing that I was witnessing the brother was doing. And people are going to sit there and say, well, they are getting ready for Jacob's trouble and stuff. Those people barely can keep their military equipment in check. When it was a mishap, an F-35, a super advanced jet. You guys still don't know what happened. This thing didn't have any camera. $100 million jet. It didn't have any camera on it. It didn't have any GPS. It didn't have anything. He just went missing. You guys didn't know where it went, where it landed, how did it landed. Out of hundreds of, you claiming thousands of satellites you guys have up there orbiting the Earth, you guys didn't have anything that could see this. Okay then, all right. Well, that's what you want to say there. Well, okay, all right. Well, let's keep on moving. Okay. All right. All right. Those are destruction going around the world, man. Let's keep on moving.
Learning more about a house fire investigation in Rural Hall. Firefighters found a man dead inside the home today. Kara Peters spoke to a woman who has a tie to that now destroyed home, and she also explains what led up to the deadly fire.
The Department of Emergency Services tells us multiple agencies arrived on scene for that house fire in Rural Hall. When we arrived on scene, we found Michelle Burek sitting in her car. She says she's devastated that her once family home is now a loss.
I used to get off the bus here, and it's just my...
What's her name, beloved? What's her name? You tell me. Sir, you tell me. Let's keep on going.
Grandma's house is kind of sad.
Michelle Burek says she still has vivid memories of Thanksgiving, Christmas parties, and just childhood moments here on North Street.
That's exactly what happened. That's what the Mosai is doing. It's literally taking their memory, burning down their memory. It literally gives them so much grief that when they look back, they're like, man, I don't like the way things are going right now. I had my childhood here. I had my Thanksgiving there. I had my Christmas here. I had my first child there. And then now it's burned down. Are they going to rebuild? Okay, let's keep on moving.
Her grandma previously lived in this home. Her mother still living just a street over.
It's just heartbreaking that
Oof,
somewhere that you grew up and now it looks like this, and it's just a tragedy that it happened.
According to the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, they arrived to the home just before 3 Friday morning following a domestic disturbance. Another call in saying that someone was destroying a car before setting it on fire. When deputies arrived, the suspect barricaded himself inside the home and threatened to shoot if anyone tried to come in. Videos showing the large flames overtaking the home. According to a release, firefighters forced their way into the home. That's when they found a man and a dog dead inside. Another dog was inside but survived. Now, Burek says all she's left with are memories.
I'm just glad that no neighbors were hurt or anything, and I'm just glad that I got to spend time with my grandma at this house, and it'll just be good memories, you know, when she was here.
And neighbors I spoke with off camera tell me they have never seen a situation like this unfold in their neighborhood. Authorities have yet to release the man's name or his exact cause of death. In Forsyth County, I'm Kara Peters, WXII 12 News.
Yeah, so exactly that's what happened, man. And a lot of so-called 83 are seeing things going on, and these things they were not used to, and for some reason it keep happening to them, and they're like, well, what's going on? Why is things like that? The blessing is done, and you are under judgment, and all those things are being happening because you've done the children of the mighty one wrong, and that's what happened. Okay, this is payment for what your ancestors did during Jacob's trouble, the Inquisition, chattel slavery, Jim Crowism, the crack epidemic, the AIDS epidemic, the syphilis epidemic, the things that you did during the medieval era when we were ruling Europe, the things that you did to our brethren in Africa, things that you did in the Caribbean, all over the world when we were ruling Japan, China, and all over. Those are the payments, man. And this is like the beginning of, barely the beginning, but hey, let's see. Keep on moving. Oops, there we go.
Firefighters in Moultonborough working to determine the cause of this fire on Pine Needle Lane. Responding crews say when they got there around 2:45 yesterday, they found the garage fully on fire. Firefighters were able to knock it down quickly and contain it just to the garage. No word as to injuries. Officials do believe this fire caused around $110,000 in damage.
Then again, beloved, a fire like this, people will like, okay, well, because they did this for the insurance money. Insurance money, you say. Well, we will get to the insurance. We will get to what the insurance owners or the insurance system is doing about fires and weather, so to speak. Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay, that's in Oklahoma. Okay, hailstorm. And I don't like to play those things because a lot of those guys, they are crab, man. They will pull you down. Okay, this is plague number 6, increase of hail and snow, and this is in Oklahoma. A lot of those dudes, they like, oh, you copy my stuff, I'm striking you down. But
massive storm hitting the East Coast and severe weather slamming the center of the country. What was once Tropical Storm Ophelia is bringing soaking rain across the Northeast. The slow-moving storm drenching the I-95 corridor, and more rain is expected from New York City to Boston on Monday, making for a rough morning commute. Coastal areas of New Jersey are already feeling the effects this weekend with rough surf and flooded roads. Ophelia first made landfall in North Carolina early Saturday, bringing 70-mile-per-hour winds and coastal flooding. A separate system has been triggering severe thunderstorms in parts of the plains. Look at these images of hail in Oklahoma. Tonight, that system is moving into Texas. Our weather team is standing by to time out the storms, but ABC's Melissa and Don leads us off from New York City.
The remnants of Tropical Storm Ophelia soaking the Northeast this weekend, bringing blinding rain, gusty winds, and coastal flooding. This massive tree crashing down on cars in New York City.
We were in it a few minutes earlier, so imagine if we just parked there and then the thing fell down when we were all in the car.
Ophelia making landfall in North Carolina early Saturday with 70-mile-per-hour winds, powerful waves, even crashing into homes. Coastal communities flooded out by the dangerous storm surge.
We got a lot more water than we expected from a tropical storm.
Strong winds bringing down trees and leaving tens of thousands without power. In New Jersey, heavy rain and coastal flooding still a concern tonight.
It just comes up so fast you don't realize it. You could be walking down the street and then you come back 10 minutes later and the whole street is flooded.
In Stone Harbor, first responders rescuing this woman after her car got stranded in the rising waters. Lindsay, the rain has been relentless across the Northeast this week, and this as there continues to be just rough surf and big waves slamming here on shore. And I want to show you the seawall that was actually built here on Rockaway Beach to try to prevent any possible storm surge as the remnants of Ophelia move through. Lindsay?
We are not out of the woods just yet. Melissa, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Yeah. They are not out of the woods. I don't know what the hell is going on in North Carolina. A lot of things keep happening over there. You know, I guess that it's gonna be a year since the Libera anyway. So a lot's going on over there, man. You know, and a lot of people don't know what's going on. They don't know what happened. They still thinking this thing is normal, or even worse, they still thinking the U.S. government or China is doing this. They think men or the elite is doing this because they want to remove the people from North Carolina. They want the land. They want the land. Yeah. Yes.
The numbers of migrants illegally crossing the U.S. southern border is approaching record numbers again tonight. Meanwhile, the Biden administration also announced a controversial new policy that will allow nearly 500,000 migrants to temporarily stay and work in this country. Morgan Chesky has late details.
And that was the plan. That was the plan. We called it from the beginning. Those people, their numbers going down drastically. See, this plague literally wiped them out. They don't want the people to know about this. That's why we told them this is just a padding number. This is just, back then they used to select people in the lighter shade to come and be there and padded the number. Now they're letting everybody in there. Well, except for the Haitians. They don't like the Haitians to come over there at all. You know, they will run after them on horseback and put it on the news and do all sort of things to humiliate them. They will ship them back. They will deport them. But the others, they will let them here. And the Venezuelans, they will let them here. Okay, they need to pad the number. Listen, what those people are trying to do here, they had an ocean. They lost it. The ocean dried up. So they now pour a glass of water in the ocean, in the desert, and then give you the illusion they are filling the ocean back by either speeding on it or pouring one glass of water in the desert and like, oh, we're gonna fill this again. Listen, a lot of those folks that are coming here, and they dub them as Venezuelan, which they're not. A lot of those folks, they are coming here for a purpose. And it will surprise a lot of people here. They're like, oh, so that's why those people were here. Hey, stupid, bring more of them here. Now that I see exactly the purposes, bring more of them here. Now, one thing about our people, especially black folks, we are not accustomed of taking advantage of people. Not yet. We are not accustomed to that. We don't know, we don't take advantage of people because we are always being taken advantage of. We don't make people work for us and abuse them because we work for people, they abused us, and we don't want that to have to do to anyone, because what you are seeing here, those folks, they will do anything they will work on anything for any money, any kind of money, because they need the money, they need it. That's why they come here. They didn't come here to just be your friend. And a lot of our people, they don't understand that, and they can't do this because it's not in them. But the Gentiles think they are in their quote unquote and their blessing, and they are bringing those people here to jumpstart or restart the economy, and it won't work. It won't work. A lot of people think they're gonna come here to get the American dream. Welcome to the American nightmare.
Tonight in Eagle Pass, Texas, officials say they're overwhelmed. The town now under a state of emergency in response to a massive migrant surge. In just 24 hours, 2,500 migrants crossed illegally. The mayor issuing a call for more help and resources.
We need to do something to control the situation. This is not normal. It is not normal for thousands of people to simply be walking in a line without consequence.
Nationwide, the border crisis is growing. On Wednesday, a Border Patrol official tells NBC News nearly 9,000 migrants crossed illegally, approaching the record high of more than 10,000 set in May. Tonight, President Biden is sending 800 more troops to help Border Patrol with logistics and processing migrants. The migrant surge so sudden, federal authorities shut down the international bridge here so staff could process thousands of men, women, and children. We found many left Venezuela to make their treacherous journey.
¿Cuántas personas de Venezuela? Wow. And so this is fitting.
So, and you don't see those people being brutalized. You don't see the people, the sheriff over there with guns and stuff telling them to back up, back up, back up. You don't hear anything. People seems to be okay. Like, yeah, hey, let them come and get that American dream. Okay. Remember, beloved, the so-called Spaniard, they did a lot, and they have a lot of descendants. Okay, a lot of people that's supposed to be our people, they don't want to. And then they come over here thinking they're going to get the American dream. And I tell my beloved, be not dismayed. Don't be shocked. Don't be, I don't know, are they coming here to invade us? Invasion. If there's anything, we already invaded them. They don't want to say any numbers about our people. They don't want to say anything like that. They want to know that you are 13%. And then next thing you know, they are bringing a bunch of people that has nothing to do with you. They're bringing them here. And they are saying, oh, well, migrant and stuff. No, there's specific migrant they are getting here. Others, they are pushing them away. They don't want them to get here. All right?
Exactly with what we've been hearing over the last several weeks. So many people coming from Venezuela.
Now the Biden administration announcing a major policy change, giving temporary legal status to nearly 500,000 Venezuelan migrants, allowing them to apply for work permits in the U.S., adding they'll be temporarily barred from deportation.
That's a bunch of lies. If you're familiar with TPS, especially the so-called the Haitian TPS, and every 2 years, those people make billions out of TPS. Billions of dollars out of TPS, like make them renew. They just put pressure on them. They don't give them stuff. They put pressure on them. So what? We're gonna deport you guys unless you pay $700 to renew your TPS. And then you got 1 million Haitians are renewing their TPS at $200-300. See how much money they are making? You think they will deport those people? You think they'll make them legal? No, they're gonna keep you there. They're going to keep you there until you do something else. and they're gonna keep you there. And those folks think they have like another 30 years. Well, Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. Well, 2030, yeah, the elite gonna do this. It was Agenda 2020, but nothing happened in 2020 that was in the benefit of the so-called the elite. Well, Agenda 2030. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. Yeah, they ain't gonna do here. If anything, everything is happening to those people. But anyway, let's take another minute and then move on.
Earlier, we met Yulia at an overcrowded shelter in San Antonio, also from Venezuela, and a mother of two.
Yulia, dime, ¿cómo están los niños?
Yulia tells me her kids are in good health, but the journey was difficult. Yet her family, like so many others, remains committed to going forward. Crossing here is dangerous. Officials confirming 2 drownings in 2 days, including a 3-year-old boy. Meanwhile, Republicans have blasted the Biden administration, saying its lax border policies have caused the ongoing crisis.
Let me tell you one thing about the Democrat and the Republican. Listen, if those dudes truly did not want any of those people to reach the border, if they truly didn't want that, it wouldn't happen. One phone call, all those people would be no more. They won't even reach the border. They would have killed them, most of them in South America. They let the word out so they can get those people here. That's what they do. That's what those folks do. They want those people to be here. There is a generation that lost to drugs. Those people can't work anymore. The 30s and 20s, they can't work. They are lost. This generation is lost to drugs. They are out of them. They can't do anything. They are well aware of that. A lot of them, they lost them to drugs. A lot of them, they lost them to depression because they call them the doomer generation. Or they keep telling them the millennial, which I tell our people, don't identify with none of those Generation X or boomers, or you're not part of this thing. This is their stuff. Let those people soak in their soul. They know for a fact there is a huge number of those people that are not eligible to work. They are eligible to work, but they cannot work. They can't. They're on drugs all the time. They depressed all the time. Their performance is low. They are not as hungry like the so-called those migrants are. All right, let's keep on moving.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott posting this video, writing, Texas installed razor wire in Eagle Pass to stop illegal crossings. Today, the Biden administration cut that wire, opening the floodgates. The video showing migrants crossing over after border agents cleared the fence.
And Morgan, we understand
that's what they want. That's what they want. They want them to come here because those people numbers are very, very low. They are desperate. And then those things, those migrants gonna do something. Get out of here, man. Wait until we get to November.
More than enough for a bath. Even the birds didn't seem thrilled with the rain, wind, and flooding caused by Tropical Storm Ophelia.
I'm surprised to see it like this because I was expecting to be a little high, but not this high all the way where Kente Kunte statues is. Haven't seen them covered up in a while.
Cars in downtown Annapolis didn't fare very well, nor did some of the shops, as water flowed and created a river over roads and walkways.
The water was climbing pretty rapidly, and so it was just a matter of getting set up.
Sandbags and pumps helped keep damage to a minimum at Storm Brothers Ice Cream Factory. The owner tells 11 News he is taking all of this in stride. It's not the first time he's had to deal with flooding.
Still kind of a nuisance, not the best way to spend the morning or the night, but it's what you have to do.
The mayor said a short-term system to handle some flooding at City Dock is in place.
We're working on a $90 million plan to fix this, in partnership with the Naval Academy.
Trying to get rid of the flooding problem in this area in 3 years. The storm impacted other areas in Maryland. This is Buckingham Road in the Lockern area of Baltimore County. Orange traffic cones warned drivers of the hazard. Many drivers decided not to go through the water flowing across the road. But some did decide to take a chance. As this car got deeper into the water, the driver apparently changed his mind and turned his vehicle around to go back in the direction from which he came. There were other hazards in Pikesville. On Old Court Road, just beyond Reisterstown Road, a large tree branch knocked down during the storm blocked 2 traffic lanes. Back in Annapolis, concern remains about possible additional flooding overnight, causing road closures.
We hit high tide again, but the water is going to ebb and flow as it recedes in general, but the worst is behind us.
Barry Sims, WBAL TV 11 News.
Yep, so the flooding is everywhere, and it seems like those folks can't catch a break. Whatever that they do, it's always something. Whatever that they try to do, it's always an inconvenience. All right, let's keep on moving.
Calling quickly in the breaking news center, and right now we are learning more about the death of a woman who police say was beaten with a frying pan. This all happened on Friday at a home on Cool Spring Street in Fayetteville. We are just getting in the 911 calls from this incident. I want to play you part of them. A woman tells the dispatcher that her mother-in-law attacked her and that she had to defend herself. Take a listen.
So what did you do, ma'am?
She came at me with first the knife, and then she came at me with the pan, and I took the pan and I defended myself. I smacked her with it, ma'am, and I hit her with the cup because she was lunging at me with the knife, and then I ran out.
Well, you see this photo right here. This is 21-year-old Abigail Tipton. She's
Good
charged
grief.
with voluntary man.
She's 21 years old. Good God. That's the generation, man. That's the generation that they lost.
Manslaughter. Now, an arrest report said this all started over a fight about a dog, and that Tipton admitted to holding down the victim on the ground and hitting her multiple times in the head with that frying pan. 67-year-old Maria Adame died at the scene.
Ooh. Kill somebody with a frying pan, man. The hell is going on with those Gentiles, man? Oh, boy. It's a lot going on, man. Let's keep on moving.
Reporter Jesse Gary tracking the conditions in the South Bay and how people are dealing with the continued poor air quality.
A third consecutive day of poor air quality is producing a very familiar sight here in the South Bay, bad air blanketing the area.
Clarissa Polito wastes no time getting her 4-month-old daughter, Aubriella, out of the elements and into the car. The enemy she fears is literally everywhere.
We try to stay inside. The other day was like over 150 at night at one point. So we decided just to stay inside, have the AC running.
Bad actor that has some Bay Area residents hunkering indoors is most visible from a higher vantage point in the East Foothills. A haze continues hanging over downtown San Jose and beyond as smoke from wildfires burning miles to the north continues flowing south.
So then again, they don't report the wildfires, giving you the illusion. Well, they don't talk about it. That means it's done. It's over. It's not. It's over. They don't talk about it. So, but in fact, this thing is not over at all. It's still going on. You know, it's still going on. So, the wildfires, they're all over in Canada, Russia over here, and the air is pretty bad.
South.
Most of the smoke is in the lowest layer, about 1,000 feet deep, and that's why you can't see anything in the Bay Area right now, because all that smoke is concentrated pretty close to the surface. Those are the smoke experts.
You know, they have to explain to you everything with their hands. Like, you know, this is like, you know, it's at the bottom. It's what you don't see and things like that. You know, the reason why you don't see that because it's over here and stuff, you know. Yeah, you know, make sure you come back to me if you want some of that smoke explanation. Yeah.
It's also the reason why the AQI is going through the roof. Right now, the weather patterns bringing that smoke to the south.
Some school districts are continuing to limit students' outdoor exposure by moving activities indoors or canceling them altogether.
We've been informing our staff to keep windows closed in the classrooms, to keep their air filters on high,
and to make sure that they are keeping anybody who is really sensitive to air pollution, people maybe with asthma or other things, inside.
Basic best practices are stay indoors, stay hydrated, and don't engage in strenuous exercise.
Health experts warn the longer unhealthier air lingers, the more harm it can do to those in vulnerable groups.
As the days progress, those harms actually accumulate, and we see more people coming in further into the episodes. Our emergency departments do start seeing people coming in general with more.
All right, let me add something here. Like we always said before, those smokes, they have particles in them, molecules and atoms, or things that are beyond in atoms. They have things that are very small, things that are not too good when you breathe them. Whether you have one of those, what they call them, air filter or whatever, there are certain magical things that are in there, and if you're not chosen, you breathe them and you'll be no more. Now, because of the smoke and the heat wave that we had, which microwave a lot of people over there, and then the fire's still going on, we already said it, we've been saying it every year, you're going to see, since we enter the fall, and we're going to, well, since we enter, yes, the fall, and then we're going to enter winter, you're going to see a lot of people going to drop suddenly. And then they will say, well, the job is doing this, the job is doing that. No, it's the particles and the sun. The sun is the main, well, in this case we'll say culprit of doing this. A lot of those people will just drop. And that's why they don't want you to find out. That's why they are bringing those migrants here, padded their number. They are making the so-called the Arabs white now. They will remove completely the ethnicity Arabs, all the others, the Spanish or Hispanic. What's the difference between a Spanish and a Hispanic or a Latino? What's the difference between a Latino or an Hispanic or a Spanish person? Oh, well, the Spanish, they speak Spanish. The Hispanic, they are from the Caribbean. And the Latino, they come from the Latin America. Well, what is Latin America? What, they speak Spanish? They speak Latin in Latin America? No, they speak Spanish. It's all confusion. Well, it's called Latin America. They should, all those countries supposed to speak Spanish. They should speak Latin. But because of the Inquisition, you covered it up. You covered up a lot of stuff. So, yeah, but let's keep on moving.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin. Have you seen this man? Houston police say he is responsible for killing another man with a single gunshot wound to the head this afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Daniela Guzman. This happened outside of a restaurant at the Sesame Center Strip Mall on the city's southwest side. Our Devin Clark has been working this story since this afternoon, and he joins us now live from outside of the West Side subdivision where detectives are examining clues in this case. Devin?
Daniela, Keith, investigators right behind me are working to sort through the details of this investigation, but I can tell you is that same strip mall where all this happened today is the same place we reported another man being shot and killed several months ago. In that instance, investigators put out a picture of the suspect and almost immediately caught him. They're hoping the same thing happens in this case.
Man, this stuff happen all the time around here, bro.
All the time.
A man is dead.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Because, of course, the number 999 in the corner right here. So, things like that, they keep happening so often, and people like, yo, what seems to be the shocking news? This ain't happening here all the time. It's just people want to get killed over here all the time. So, you know, you're not under the blessing anymore, and that's what it is. So there's a judgment going on upon this earth.
Say was an altercation that turned violent around 3:30 this afternoon. It happened outside of this Marisco 713 restaurant on Beechnut.
Our deceased victim was at the restaurant on the patio area eating and having a drink. A male met him, another adult male. He and that adult male got in a verbal altercation.
Officials say they're still trying to figure out what the altercation was about that escalated so quickly.
The other male shot our victim in the head and then fled the scene.
People in the area recall hearing a single loud bang.
We sitting right there drinking beer or whatever, and we heard his son go pop.
Police say this man, seen in a black shirt and black hat, got into a gray-colored Honda Civic and left the scene.
Some dude say, man, some dude got shot. He ran around the corner. And he just left. I don't know who the guy was or what, but I come around here and see the guy just laying out on the ground.
Tonight, investigators are hoping someone sees these images and comes forward with information.
Call us at the Homicide Division at 713-308-3600 or...
Great glory. Let's keep on moving, man. The sword is heavy in the mist.
California's insurance market is in trouble. So much so that today, the governor signed an executive order urging the state insurance commissioner to take action now. Just hours ago, he announced what he calls the largest insurance reform in more than 3 decades. Over the last few months, several major insurance carriers have announced they are no longer accepting new policies in California, leaving many homeowners without insurance. ABC 10 was there as the commissioner explained his plan to help make insurance more affordable for you.
Modernizing our insurance market is not going to be easy or happen overnight. We are in really uncharted territory, and we must make difficult choices.
Thousands of Californians living in wildfire-prone areas have been making difficult choices.
So those are the people that live off grid. They are the one that go ahead and live in the forest area because, hey man, after city, man, when the grid go down, I live off grid. I got my own thing. So, yeah. What's up with you, Negro? I'll survive that nuclear bomb because that's all they are afraid of. Nuclear bomb, Russia or China are going to attack and stuff like that. But when you look at Russia, you look at China, you look at North Korea, they are dealing with a lot right now. But anyway.
Scrambling to afford coverage for their homes.
The changes I am announcing today are aimed to modernize our insurance market and to better protect consumers.
A new plan announced by California's insurance commissioner aims to stop the country's top insurance companies from leaving the state.
Because if they leave, everything is screwed. And people are like, but Big Levi, you have to understand, the insurance company are making billions, or the people are making millions from the insurance. Well, the insurance are leaving because they are losing too much money, and the people that are losing their home, they are not getting that much money. You mean, well, the U.S. government is doing this with the DEW, the direct energy weapon and stuff. Are you out of your... Oh my goodness, I despise you guys for saying this word, direct energy weapon. Let me explain something to you here. You see, a laser, to power laser, it takes an immense amount of energy to power, to have laser, like to have a little laser cutting stone or whatever they are using it. Now, to have a weapon in space that can shoot laser beam down there like you see in your Star Wars movies, if you have this type of power, not only you are able to do space travel, hyper dimensional travel, interplanetary travel, because you have so much power, but you don't use it to travel going on another planet and conquer them because you like to conquer in place, but you're using it to destroy your own people, your own voting base. Those are not the typical Israelites living in those areas. Those are your typical Gentiles, your 83 living in these rich areas and only them can access. And they are staying over there in the $1 million house, like in Lake Tahoe. Those houses, $77 million, $55 million are being burned down. And the insurance are not taking this, man. You think the so-called the Gentiles are doing this to themselves? You think they are doing this to themselves? You think like, wait, hey, hang on, man. We, the elite, we're going to build this weapon. We're going to destroy the other people, the other elite. We're going to burn down. A $75 million house is not a regular house a regular person can own, man. Yet those homes are being burned down. And people are like, well, they are doing this for their insurance money. Oh, really? Yeah. Insurance money. You people are so freaking delusional, man. You are delusional and you have a strong illusion. You have the illusion that you are stealing your power, you are stealing your blessing. You have the strongest illusion of time, that you have all the time in the world. And you are delusional because you think whatever thing that happened, oh well, I'm doing this to myself. The elite is doing this to themselves and stuff. Since when we stop being the enemy of those people? Since when those people are stop attacking us, killing us, and they are attacking themselves and killing themselves? Get out of here, man.
By letting them consider climate risk when setting their prices.
We will increase availability of insurance in wildfire distressed areas. Using our prior approval rate authority.
Commissioner Ricardo Lara said the state will write new rules to let insurers look to the future when setting their rates. But companies will only get to do this if they agree to write more policies for homeowners who live in areas with the most risk, including communities threatened by wildfires.
But I want to underscore that Californians will not pay for the cost of hurricanes, fires, and floods across the nation and around the world. Under my agreement, companies wishing to use these new risk assessment tools must agree to increase and maintain the writing in wildfire distressed areas in our state.
Critics say the rule change could mean higher rates for homeowners who are already seeing dramatic increases. The California Department of Insurance says 8 insurance companies doing business in California have requested rate increases of at least 20% or higher this year. Laura's goal is to get all this done by December of next year. Some consumer groups say they are not opposed to insurance companies using a model to look to the future.
Great glory, man. We show you that this system is going down, man.
Breaking news just into the newsroom. We just got the 911 calls following the F-35 fighter jet that went missing on Sunday. The pilot of the stealth fighter ejected over North Charleston following a malfunction. He parachuted safely into the backyard of a home. Debris of the fighter jet was later found in Williamsburg County. The 911 call showcases the bizarre circumstances.
I guess we got a pilot at our house and he says he got ejected. So he ejected from the plane. So we just see if we could get some ambulance, please.
I'm sorry, what happened?
We had a military jet crash. I'm the pilot. We need to get rescue rolling. I'm not sure where the airplane is. It would have crash landed somewhere. I ejected.
It remains unclear why the pilot ejected from that aircraft.
That's
the incident
thing.
is still under investigation, and results from an official review board could take months.
And they will never tell you exactly what happened. They will never say anything. They will just say, okay, well, you know. Yeah, what about those migrate? Okay, let's keep on moving. Okay, we watch the insurance system again.
Hurricane Idalia and the Maui wildfire created more than $1 billion each in damages. 18 of the events were severe storms. 2 were major floods. Hurricane Idalia and the Maui wildfires also made the billion-dollar list, as did February winter storms in the Northeast. As a result of these disasters,
Is it just me? For some reason, those reporters are giving me some kind of their speech. Is it too nasally, or is it kind of like some, I don't know. I don't understand their speech anymore. It seems like I don't know what's going on. The first woman that was talking about the insurance, something was off about her speech, and then this guy, listen to his voice.
Homeowners in high-risk areas are seeing insurance premiums rise. For some, coverage has been dropped completely. CBS News senior national and environmental correspondent Ben Tracy reports.
It's just a magical place to live.
Mary Morse was drawn to this Southern California mountain town 17 years ago by the pine trees surrounding her home.
I had no idea it was going to end up being an issue.
Her insurance company came to see them as fuel for a wildfire.
I got a letter from my insurance company that said we're not going to serve your area anymore.
They're basically dropping you.
Yep.
Wildfire is now the fastest growing natural disaster in the U.S. In the next 30 years, the average number of buildings destroyed is expected to nearly double, causing $24 billion in damages. Several major insurance companies are no longer writing new policies in California or pulling out of the market altogether.
And then you want to tell me, but Big Levi, the economy is doing so great, man. I can't wait to get my 401k, retiring, and pension, and investment in Bitcoin and stuff, and cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency was so beautiful. The concept was good. It was something apart. Then the scumbag elite get into this thing. A bunch of baby mamas, a bunch of neck beard scumbag get into this thing, and they effed it up. They effed up the whole thing. We should have our own cryptocurrency for our own people to purchase things, in a certain place on certain internet. But the rich guys that have all the money, you got guys like Elon Musk, he have all the money in the world. Like, what the you need cryptocurrency for? Leave this H for the little guy. They get into this thing. Now you can even buy one cryptocurrency. You can even buy one Bitcoin. It's about, like, I don't know, $30,000 for one Bitcoin, man. I'm assuming. Is that what that is? Let's double check. Let's double check. I want to get this right. How much one Bitcoin costs right now?
Here is information from Cointelegraph.
$26,000, man, for one Bitcoin, man. Something that was less than $1, but then you let all those scumbag billionaires and then they monopolize this thing, man. Well, you can't even buy one Bitcoin, man. Like, yo, why, man? $26,000 for what, man? This is not that thing was supposed to be something we get rid of so we can buy stuff so people won't tax us and do things. Ah, boy, whatever, man. Anyway.
They're looking at it and saying, listen, we've done the math.
Matthew
We're all losing.
CEO of First Street Foundation, which studies climate risks. Its new report shows 6.7 million properties in the U.S. have been pushed onto expensive state-created plans known as insurers of last resort, after private insurers dropped them, in part because of escalating climate risk.
Are we one strategically placed hurricane or one massive mega fire away from some of these state-backed plans collapsing? Absolutely. All it takes is one big event in a high concentrated area, and you will see financial collapse of those programs.
Exactly.
That's
So,
a real
yeah.
fear in hurricane-prone Florida. Its state-created plan now insures nearly 1.4 million high-risk properties. Florida has the highest insurance rates in the nation, averaging $6,000 a year.
I hate to say it, but it is legalized extortion.
Jack Anderson and his
No,
husband
it's
Kevin
not.
live in Key West. The disaster premiums on their modest home were heading towards $8,000 a year, so they paid off their entire mortgage to avoid having to carry that insurance.
How much did you put towards paying that off?
Just over $250,000. So it's like, what level of risk can you live with, I guess is really what it comes down to.
They are now saving for that inevitable rainy day. But as climate impacts grow, so do the risks.
And Ben Tracy joins us now. Ben, why are insurance companies allowed to just...
All right, we're good here. For the people that keep saying, "Oh well, it's the insurance company, it's the people doing this, or insurance, the government, insurance." No, that's not what that is, man. That has nothing to do with insurance. That has to do with the Most High God Almighty taking those people down. All right, beloved, I say shalom, great glory. See you from another time.